Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Pokémon is the one cartoon that almost everyone has seen during their childhood. Even some of us as adults still like to watch the show. The creatures in the show amazed all of us. Sometimes Pokémon designs are unpredictable and wildly creative, and other times they are closely based on real-world influences. Here is a rundown of some of those real-life inspos that some Pokémon were based off of. Today, we bring you 10 Pokémon in real life. Number 10. Caterpie. Caterpie isn't the most powerful dueling Pokémon, but it is possibly one of the cutest. This shield dust expert is also one of the most obviously realistic in the whole Pokémon universe. Because you know, or you might not, it's obviously a caterpillar. But what kind of caterpillar provided the inspiration for this entry-level catch? As far as we can know, Caterpie is the animated version of the swallowtail caterpillar, which is most commonly known as the parsley worm. Parsley worms, yes, they do like to eat parsley, have a pattern of spots that we can also find on the Caterpie. What is even more telling is that they have red antennae sticking out of their snouts, just like the Pokémon version of the bug. Pretty cute, right?
Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you'll get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it. It really works.
Number 9. EMOLGA. EMOLGA is one of the most unfortunate Pokémon, as this electric-type Pokémon only has one form. It cannot evolve. Perhaps that is for the best, because the EMOLGA happens to be one of the cutest fantasy animals ever to show up in any anime or video game, as it makes a surprise appearance in the Wii U version of Super Smash Bros. As well. It makes sense that EMOLGA is unbearably adorable, because the Pokémon is based on a real-life rodent that makes everyone dissolve into uncontrollable ahs, oohs, and ahs. We're talking, of course, about the flying squirrel. There are actually 44 species of squirrels of the real-life flying type, and EMOLGA seems to have been a mixture of all of their cutest features. EMOLGA is always battle-ready. Both it and the flying squirrel can fly with the help of membranes between their hands and legs. EMOLGA stores electricity within these membranes. He also makes really adorable faces to trap his opponent in his charm. Before you ask, no, they don't really fly, but they do glide at pretty crazy distances, up to 295 feet at a time in some cases. Number 8. ZIGZAGOON. Sure, this third-generation Pokémon looks quite a bit like a raccoon, but bear with us for a bit and hear us out. The ZIGZAGOON is a curious creature with a zigzag pattern on its fur, hence the name, and a black mask around its eyes. While it looks somewhat like a raccoon, it's not an exact match, and the zigzag fur is a giveaway that Pokémon writers took inspiration from a slightly different place. This is the raccoon dog, indigenous to East Asia. It looks a bit like a raccoon, to be fair, but its coloration is closer to that of its fictional counterpart. Interestingly, it's treated as a potentially invasive species in some countries, which could explain why there are so many ZIGZAGOONs spread out all over the world of Pokémon. Number 7. POLIWAG. The POLIWAG was one of the first water Pokémon, and had hypnotic swirls on its chest. These swirls, according to the Pokémon Encyclopedia, are actually its internal organs, which are showing through its semi-transparent skin. Yes, apparently it would seem that Pokémon have internal organs. We had never thought about it before. In any case, the POLIWAG was inspired by a real-life tadpole, as you can see. The tadpole's coil is, in fact, made up of its organs, so the Pokémon creators clearly got that detail correct. However, instead of evolving into a Poliwhirl, the real-life tadpole evolves into a frog. So, yeah, it's not quite as exciting. Number 6. VILEPLUME. This flower-headed Pokémon is of two types that are poison and grass. Despite its disarming smile, this little creature is a strong fighter, thanks to its powerful spore attack. Surprisingly, VILEPLUME isn't the product of some insane cartoonist's imagination. It's actually based off of a real-life flower. And what an incredible flower it is! Rafflesia arnoldi, which is sometimes called the corpse flower, is a rainforest plant that produces the largest single flower in the world. It grows in Sumatra and Borneo, and people call it the corpse flower because, well, it smells just like rotting flesh. So, how is that for a spore attack? Number 5. DROWZEE. This unfortunately named Pokémon is one of the originals. DROWZEE showed up in the very beginning, as one of the first 100 Pokémon ever devised, and he still remains a fan favorite. Come on, the dude can evolve into Hypno. What's not to love? The DROWZEE kind of looks like an anteater, or even an elephant, but he's actually based on a more rare long-nosed animal called a Malayan tapir. Tapirs cannot see very well, but they have an incredible sense of smell and hearing. That might have been the trait that inspired DROWZEE's psychic power. But in terms of its abilities though, DROWZEE are similar to the Baku from Japanese folklore. But even the Baku seem to have shared a lot of physical traits with the tapir. Its evolved form, Hypno, also has tapir-like qualities. Also, Malayan tapirs just look like something out of Pokémon, don't they? After seeing a picture of this pig-like creature, it's hard to imagine these Pokémon creatures don't really exist in real life. Number 4. KROOKODILE. I mean, this Pokémon looks pretty explanatory, right? And we know what you all must be thinking. The Krookodile was inspired by the crocodile, everyone knows that. But you are not entirely correct, only partially. Since the name clearly indicates that the Krookodile is some type of reptilian creature. Well, we hate to let you down or insult your Pokémon knowledge, but while Krookodile does look a bit like a standard crocodile, it's probably inspired by a slightly different crocodilian creature. We're talking about the gharial, an Indian fish-eating crocodile with a long, slender snout. Like the Krookodile, its snout is much narrower than your average crocodile. However, unlike the Krookodile, the gharial does not possess the ability to stand up. And let's face it, if it did, that would be terrifying. At one time, the gharial could be found throughout India, but unfortunately, their populations have been depleted by hunting and deforestation. They are currently listed as critically endangered creatures. Number 3. SANDSLASH. The SANDSLASH is a tall, yellow mammalian creature with brown spikes or quills on its back, which most of you might have seen during your long runs of the cartoon. One of its most notable features are its massive claws, which it uses to dig and battle. It's also capable of curling up into a ball to protect itself against potential danger. While the SANDSLASH looks pretty awesome, its real-life counterpart is disappointingly less impressive. It's the pretty ordinary pangolin that has big claws that it uses for digging and fighting. It also has incredibly hard scales that are made of keratin. Wild pangolin populations are declining, sadly, as they are threatened by hunting. And as a result, they're critically endangered. Their name comes from the Mali word for the one who rolls up. And just like the SANDSLASH, the pangolin can curl into a tight ball when threatened. And with that, it's now time for today's subscriber pick. Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber. If you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it over to us. We might even feature it on future videos. Number 2. This image shows you the Pokémon and real-life depiction of Charmander, who happens to be the 4th Pokémon in the Pokédex. It weighs about 19 pounds in the Pokémon world, which is not far off from its real-life version. Charmander was likely inspired by multiple animals. The Pokémon resembles a lizard, but it has features that are reminiscent of the gecko. To be even more precise, it looks more like the male leopard gecko. However, this picture on the right has clearly been photoshopped to add more color pigment to the gecko and to make it look like there is fire coming out of its tail, similar to Charmander's. Of course, Pokémon isn't real, so we don't suggest that you go out into the real world to try to catch them. Probably won't be good for your bank. Number 1. Gorobus. There's quite a lot we admittedly don't know about the Gorobus. For one, what's the deal with those shells? We thought those were only for mermaids. Secondly, its most powerful attack is hard to comprehend or expect with those cute long-lashed eyes. It can stab an opponent with its snout and suck out the life-giving fluids. Yikes. When you see the animal that inspired the Gorobus, though, you'll understand why it has a disturbing edge and it's hard to endear to. The Pokémon was based on an ocean animal known as the long-nosed chimera. It's one of those deep-sea creatures that seems to be purposefully designed to scare the living spirits off of humans. One really interesting and terrifying fact about the long-nosed chimera, by the way, is that their eyes are usually black and empty. But if you pull them out of the water, their eyeballs change color and become an eerie fluorescent green. There's no word on whether the Gorobus shares this unsettling ability, but that's probably because Pokémon hunters love their companions and would never actually go fishing for them. And that concludes our list of the 10 Pokémon in real life. Let us know in the comment section below which one of these you would totally love to see in real life. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon.